Hi, welcome to Cooking with ABN. My name is Ashley Beal and I'm a registered dietitian. Because this is the last video in this first series, I wanted to thank you all for being here. I have really enjoyed my time cooking with all of you and getting some of your feedback. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all a quick and easy way to make one of my favorite desserts, key lime pie. The ingredients we will need are some graham crackers, any variety that you like is fine, about 5 tablespoons of butter that we will be melting in a microwave safe bowl. As with any sweet treat, we will need some sugar, a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, some key lime juice or just your regular lime juice. My grocery store was all out of key lime juice, so if you just want to use some regular lime juice, that is also fine. I'm gonna be using the zest of 2 limes today, so you're welcome to do that and follow along with me, or you can skip this step if you'd rather it not be so limey. Lastly, we will need some whipped cream. If you saw my chocolate graham cracker cups video, this is just some whipped cream that I have left over from that. I get the extra creamy version because I just feel like it tastes better. So whatever kind you like. Now for equipment today, we are going to need 2 mixing bowls, a medium-sized one for our graham cracker crust, and a larger one for our key lime pie mixture. We will also need a mixing spoon. We can use the same one for both ingredients if you want to save dishes, or you could have 2 separate ones. For this recipe, I actually am going to use a muffin tin. This is going to help hold all of the ingredients together while we let them sit. For my muffin tins, I am going to line them with a baking cup. So I have a foil variety here as well as a paper variety. You can use whichever you have on hand. I also recently discovered a silicone version of these, which could be a nice reusable option, and I'll link those below as well. Last but not least, if you are zesting your limes, some kind of zester or cheese grater would be great here. To get us started, I'm going to go ahead and melt my 5 tablespoons of butter in the microwave. I'm going to start by putting it in for about 30 seconds and then repeat as necessary for 15 seconds each. For mine, 30 seconds ended up being enough, so I'm going to take my medium-sized bowl and pour the butter in there. To that bowl, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar. Next, I'm going to take a few sheets of graham crackers, place them in a sturdy bag, starting with about 8 to 9 sheets, like this. Be sure to close that bag. I find that the freezer-friendly Ziploc bags are the most sturdy in terms of closing. So if you have those are great. If not, any bag is fine. Again, going back to my chocolate graham cracker cup recipe, you will see that I used a blender to make my graham cracker crumbs. So for this recipe, I wanted to show you another way. The easiest thing to do is to just kind of lay them on the ground and squish them with your hands. Don't need any additional equipment for that. This could also be a good sensory activity for any young kids you have around. Flipping the bag over and doing the same thing to the other side. You can see I'm starting to get some really nice crumbs here. So that is great. You could continue to do it that way. You could grab a cup and use the bottom of that cup to kind of do the same. If you really wanted to get technical with it, you could also use a meat pounder, like that. Just requires a little less energy from you. Last but not least, you can also use a rolling pin. So if you have one of these on hand, you can also just roll the baking pan back and forth over your crumbs. See? Whichever method you use, you just want to grind them as finely as you can. If you have some larger chunks in them, that is also perfectly fine, as long as they are broken up into smaller pieces. We can then take them and add them to our bowl with the butter and sugar. Taking your mixing spoon, mix these ingredients together. You will want to mix them until they are all well combined. Unlike my previous graham cracker recipe, with this one, it's going to be more of a crummy texture as opposed to a paste. You can see that there. Because we're just gonna add them to the bottom of our baking cups. So taking your muffin tin and whatever baking cups you're using, and line the muffin tin with your cups. For my paper cups, since they are a little bit less sturdy than my foil ones, I am going to just double line those just in case. So I'm gonna use 2 paper cups per muffin. Now taking your tablespoon measure from before, just grab a heaping tablespoon of your mixture and evenly spread them throughout all of your baking cups. This is going to make up the bottom crust of our mini key lime pies. I feel like key lime pies are such a hit or miss dessert. Some people love them, like myself. Some people, not such big fans, which is also okay. We all have different taste preferences. But I'm curious, do you like key lime pies? Are there other desserts that you like to have in the summertime? I'd love to hear what you think. So the crust portion of this dessert should only fill about 1/3 of your baking cup. So once you have those evenly spread out, just kind of use the back of your tablespoon to push them down. Depending on how you like yours, you could make a thicker graham cracker crust or a thinner one. If you have some additional left over, feel free to add those. My favorite part about cooking is the ability to make it what you want. So you'll find a lot of my recipes are based on personal preference, which cooking should be. Okay, when you're done, it should look like this. And we will set these aside while we make the key lime mixture. Taking our large mixing bowl, we are going to pour in our can of sweetened condensed milk, rinsing off the top as always. Mine is just a pop top, so I don't have to use a can opener today. Just like that. Careful with the lid because it will be sharp. And then just pour the condensed milk in the bowl. Because it is a little bit more dense, you can rinse off and use your same mixing spoon and really make sure you get all of it out of the can. Did you know that if you ever have a hard time opening bottles, you can just take the lid and pop it on the counter and then it comes open. Kind of cool. Shake it first, and then we will pour about 1/2 cup of our key lime juice or your lime juice into the sweetened condensed milk. I'm gonna take one of my limes here and I'm just gonna rinse it off. Then I'm going to take my zester or cheese grater or whatever you have on hand and just kind of move the lime back and forth, getting all of the good flavor from the rind. Being very careful not to hit your fingers. And you will see that a lot of that good zest is coming off. There's no exact amount of how much lime zest you need. You just want to try to get as much as you can out of that first lime. I find in making desserts, when you're using a lemon or a lime flavored thing, a little bit of zest goes a long way. And this is what it should look like. You can see all the zest in there. Then we will mix this all together. It's already starting to smell so good. Okay, once you have it well incorporated, like this, we are going to take about 1 cup of whipped cream, a little extra if you want, pour it into our bowl, and then we're gonna fold the whipped cream into our mixture. If you've ever been left not knowing what folding means, you just kind of stir around the mixture, incorporating it in slowly rather than stirring it. So that way it maintains a lot of its shape. Now, I am no culinary expert, so this is just how I do it. And I find that it comes out just fine. So don't feel like you have to do anything crazy. See where there's a little bit more, I'll just kind of swoop it around like this. Like that, just until it is mixed enough. Once you have that mixture ready, we are going to bring back the muffin tin and fill the rest of our cups with the mixture, leaving a little bit of room at the top. When I am evenly distributing something like this, I like to kind of start with less. That way I can always just go back and fill in if I need to. But of course, you can always scoop out whatever you did use and redistribute it. Don't be afraid to take that spoon and scrape the sides to make sure that you get all of the custard. Okay, that worked out really nicely. If some of your custard got on the outside of the muffin tin, that is okay because we're not baking it. Now, to allow our mini key lime pies to set, I'm gonna put them in the freezer for about 30 to 45 minutes until they harden. You can also put them in the refrigerator if you have more time, and either store them in an airtight container in the refrigerator or in the freezer. Either works. If you're going to be doing the freezer like me, before we serve them, let them sit out for a few minutes just to kind of thaw out so they're easier to pop out, and then we'll come back and get ready to serve them. In the meantime, I'm just gonna tidy up my area a little bit, keeping my whipped cream, my lime, and my zester handy for when we're ready to serve. All right, I will be back in about 30 to 45 minutes. Okay, now that all of my mini pies are nice and set, we can serve them. To put them together, get yourself a serving plate. Carefully pop out one of your key lime pies. Peel back the baking cup. It's okay if it comes apart just a little bit, like that. And then I like to have my crust side down, but if you wanted to flip it over, you could do that too. Okay, next you will take your whipped cream, put a little dollop on top, like that. And then I'm just gonna take my remaining lime, rinse it off, and then put a little bit of lime zest on top. So then it should look like this. Now for the best part, grab a spoon or a fork, take a bite-sized piece, some extra whipped cream, just like key lime pie. So good. Perfect for those hot summer days, or really anytime you're craving something sweet and tart with a wonderful graham cracker crust. So let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, I would do my best to link everything that I used here just to make it easier to get the supplies that you need. But either way, thank you so much for cooking with me today and all of the other days that we have done this so far. While this is my last video for now, get ready for my next series coming this fall. I will be sharing more delicious recipes and I will have a little surprise for you guys. So stay tuned, be sure to subscribe so that way you get notifications once the videos are back up and running, and I will see you next time.